Sagittarius, welcome to your Astroflower reading for the mid-January. Have you seen the collective mid-January as well? That'll be tied into this, and it might help you to understand this reading today. We're going to be going through your chakras and then going through your aura, and then following on with some tarot cards at the end of that. So without further ado, we've got the Astroflower chakra man. I'll get there in a minute. Sorry. Oh, let me just connect first to it. Lovely. There we go. Okay, so let's just go straight in here. Let's see what's going on with you. There's the man there going through. Lovely. Let's just see what's going on with your root chakra at the moment. It ties in with the collective reading as well. You've got your left-hand side, which is a lot more prominent than your left-hand side. This is not a problem at all. This just tends to mean that you're more focused on administrative stuff, sort of getting things done, sort of work, material side of life, and that sort of thing. It's almost also preparing as well. And we've got this change coming up at the beginning of March. And this is what's leading us into it. So everybody seems to have had this sort of like preparing energy. And we're going through Mercury and Mercury retrograde. So you've got here your root chakra here. It tends to be at the moment about acquisitions, I think, more than anything else. Making sure everything's working correctly. Cars are working, houses are working, your job's working, everything like that. On the emotional sort of side, it's very much more sort of open, really. There seems to be a desire to exchange with the outside world, which is really nice. Let's just see what's going on the sacrum. So this is the sacrum here. Okay, so there is a little bit missing on your pleasure side of the sort of like the pleasures that we create for ourselves, so then we can also share that pleasures with other people that are around us. So that may need adjusting. It depends if you've actually got lots on your plate at the moment, but it may well be the case here. Do not worry about creating pleasures for others. Create pleasures for yourself. You're going to find other people that are around you that enjoys exactly the same thing as what you enjoy, and therefore you can have a really good time sharing an activity or something with friends, family, or community, or even work people that you actually really enjoy. But it has to come from you in a way. So that needs to be readjusted and re-looked at a little bit. We'll see that at the end. Let's just see what's going on with your solar plexus. That's really wide. It's very nice, very welcoming, like a really well worked fire in a fireplace. It's not just been freshly lit. It's not blazing flames, but it's radiating a lot of heat, but in lots of different directions. So it might be difficult for you at the moment to find that point of reference. And I think this is where the organization is coming into play. And it comes in and ties in with your root chakra as well, where sorting things out and planning for the future at the moment as we're going through this transition. And there's loads of things that we're going to be transitioning through in February and through into the beginning of March, as I said. And I think it's maybe you're dissipating your energy a little bit, your fire energy, that enthusiasm, that courage, that sort of confidence, that sort of determination, that passion, in too many different fields at the moment. So if you're feeling like you're a little bit drained by lots of things going on, I would really start to focus on the things that are really important to you and start putting your energies into that, and it will help your solar plexus to become a little bit more tighter, a little bit more efficient. It will provide a lot more sort of direction and sort of purpose to your heart, to your desires, and that sort of thing. Let's just see what's going on your chakra, on your heart chakra. There's a lot of desire for sociability. There's a lot of desire for interaction with other people around you. But sometimes you might feel like you haven't got a lot to give to other people. I don't think that's necessarily true at all. Sort of with you, Sagittarius, you're a very inquisitive sort of sign, constantly sort of learning and exploring and experimenting with things. And I think you need to recognize that within you, and you need to recognize that fun of enjoyment and stuff like that you can have within that sort of aspect. So it'll allow your heart to pull a little bit more on that solar plexus. So it'll give it a little bit more sort of focus to life at the moment. But yeah, it's very nice. It's very sociable. It's the desire sometimes for the social thing. It might be a little bit bigger than the reality of what is possible. Let's just see what's going on in your third eye and your throat chakra. Okay, so the third eye is really quite prominent as well. It seems to be a lot of one way or the other. So there's quite a few imbalances, as it were, that need to be readdressed through meditation and that sort of thing, which will help you keep you focused and concentrated on certain ideas or certain relationships, or focusing on personal goals within your life. And that's good for that. That's good to have that third eye that's slightly larger than the throat chakra in order to do that, because it gives you that clarity of vision. But at the same time, it can also mean that the flip side of that is that you can have like tunnel vision, that you're not really seeing the bigger picture. Let's just see what's going on in your crown chakra. Yeah, I think it could be a little bit tunnel vision here for you, Sagittarius. The crown chakra is normally, it's sort of like a 45-degree inverted triangle in a way, but it's at the moment it's a little bit tight. So you may not have the time or patience for people who are not really getting on and doing, or not really understanding. You haven't got time for that at the moment, it seems like. But it's with that dispersing of yourself. If you haven't got time for others and you're being dispersed into lots of different areas, it's going to be difficult for you to provide that social aspect which your heart so desires. And I think this is what I was saying earlier on, that it's just lacking a bit. The desire may be bigger than the possibilities at the moment. So maybe you just need to sort of relax and allow that sort of crown to grow a little bit. And in order to do that, we need to pull a little bit from the solar plexus. So to take out a little bit of energy out of the solar plexus, so then therefore you can allow that to filter through into the crown chakra, which will open up the possibilities, the insights, and seeing things in a slightly different way, which is going to streamline your life a little bit. So it's going to make it easier for you to progress on, to take further your goals or your ambitions, or the projects or the jobs or the relationships that you want to get involved with. And let's just see how that feeds onto the heart. So that makes the heart a little bit wider, a little bit more, sort of full. So therefore you've got the emotions of the heart that can actually follow it, that can satisfy those desires of that social interaction. So if you're watching this, we just literally just need to sort of like now streamline it through and get that work play ethic into place. So we're just going to rebalance the sacrum a little bit as well, so you can just bring up a little bit. I understand that you obviously got stuff to arrange, like a lot of signs at the moment, and so I don't want to pull it out of balance totally, but I do think there was a little bit, it needs to be addressed a little bit, let's put it that way. So we just help with the sacrum, so then you can address those issues of sort of work play ethics of your life. Okay, so that's sort of, let's just see how that's affecting the root chakra. That's relaxed the root chakra a little bit more, so you're going to be less you're not going to be so hard on yourself, because when you're hard on yourself, you end up being hard on everybody else that is around you, and you're not applying a pressure to yourself more than anything else. And I think this could be the thing that's holding you back. So be gentle with yourself, Sagittarius, I think. Okay, so let's just see what's going on your aura at the moment. So there's, yeah, I think this tunnel vision that you might well be getting at the moment, and it, you know, so like if you're lacking a bit of money, if you need money, you're going to be focused on getting money, and maybe that's not the best way to get it. Sometimes it's better to focus on socializing, enjoying yourself, because then that's going to open doors for you to make money. Do you understand what I mean? So you know, I think it's opening up that vision. So basically your aura is a little bit heavy around this sort of section there, simply because it's not getting the support. So up here it's very tight, up the top it's very tight, but as we come down to the side, that's when it starts slagging, mainly on your left side, it's got to be said. And with that sort of slacking off of the energy, it's going to make things stagnate a little bit. So it's going to help, it's going to impede you from progressing within your life, and stuff like that. So I do think you need to have a look at things a little bit differently in the world and the way you approach things. And you can do this through your meditation. So basically bringing up that energy from your solar plexus and bringing it up to your crown chakra. That'll do nicely, and as it does, you'll feel that it actually lightens the whole body, maybe gives you a little bit of sort of you know, pins and needles, through goosebumps through the entire body, and you should be able to feel it sort of opening up and stretching and getting a bit more sort of taunt around this sort of section here. Obviously it's a lot further out, but taunt around this sort of section here, which allows you to be a little bit more sort of zippy, a little bit more here, a little bit focused on what you're doing and where you're going and how things are progressing for you. Okay, so there you go, Sagittarius. Let's just have a look now. Let's move on to your tarot reading now. Okay, and this is obviously for the last 2-3 weeks of January. So we're moving from Capricorn season into Aquarius season. Usually a very complementary season for you, because it's very logical. It's very it provides enough of those ideas and those possibilities for you going through for the future, because they've got a lot of air in their sign as well. That card just, I can't ignore it. It's time to manifest things. It's time to sort of prepare your manifestation for this changing period that's coming over in March. Let's just see what's going on in the overall energies for you. You need to shore things up. Does that make sense? You need to tighten things up a little bit. It needs to get a little bit more sort of that it's becoming a little bit more efficient in your energy, basically. That's what it seems to be like. That things are really sort of, yeah, you know, tighten things up. This thing holding on to things. This is maybe, you know, not necessarily. This is where we come into the solar plexus of what we saw at the very beginning of the thing. Rather than being dispersed and pulled into pillar to post, I think it's a good idea to guide or keep things to you in a way. Keep things close to you at the moment. Don't just spend your money or your energy or your emotions too quickly. I would, you know, concentrate on the long-term goals or your goals in your life, in order to give it a little bit of focus, a little bit of emphasis on certain avenues of your life. Let's just go into your relationship side. This is family, friends, community, couple, your partner, and etc. So let's just see what's going on here. It's having it's almost learning to have healthy boundaries. Virgo, I think, had this as well, actually, funny enough. But healthy boundaries, not only with the outside world, but also with yourself. You know, make sure you are you are not allowing yourself to run yourself ragged, basically. That's what it seems like at the moment. So, concentrating on your goals, concentrating on your desires, rather than concentrating on everybody else's around you, concentrating on yours. I think it's going to be really important for you. I think it's going to be important for everybody else that is around you as well. Because when you have success, everybody else will have success. Let's just see how the universe is trying to influence this karmic message. It's like a waterfall. It's like a river. It's recognizing that evident path which is for you. Water will take the evident path to get to where it wants to be going, unless under certain electrical magnetic fields. But here it's a case of, it's the universe wants you to recognize that evident path. It's a change of fortunes they're trying to bring into you, and that change needs to happen from within in order for it to go without, as it were, or outside of you. So I think it's the universe is trying to encourage that sort of looking at things a little bit differently in regards to your relationships that are around you. So you're not getting you're not getting pulled to pillar to post, or you're not getting the negative side of the relationships, that because you seem to be taking on everything at the moment. And I would allow the universe to sort of ease that new sort of cycle that's coming in, that change of fortunes for you in regards to relationships that are around you. Sometimes you're really trying to help, but the help's not being accepted or not being engaged by the other people around you, which makes you feel disappointed, and etc. And this is where you might feel like, in your relationships, it's not really working. And the universe is trying to change that within you, or trying to encourage you to go towards those sort of goals and aspirations that you have within you. And let's just see how the guides are trying to influence you. It's like they're shining. It's like you've got a massive window in front of you with lots of squared windows in it, and it's almost as if your guide's sort of something going, okay, let's clear this one up. Let's see if this is clean. This is good for us. So it's basically it's examining the coincidences or the connections that you have with other people that are around you. To see, what ones need a good cleanup, basically, good sort of cleanup situation. Yeah, I think there's a sort of they're helping you to sort of see clearly, have that judgment moment, have that moment of realization within you, of seeing things differently and doing things differently, which will help you to ascend to a position where you don't have to worry so much about the relationships around you. They will just be almost auto-cultivated as you go forward. Let's just see what's going on, how the conversation is within you. It's almost like an afterthought, but it's like an afterthought. They're sort of saying, when, like, we've all done it, don't worry, we've all done it, we've all sort of said something, and then afterwards we thought, I shouldn't have said that really, or I should have said that differently, and it's like that after review thought that's coming in here. And what the guys are trying to do is they're trying to connect to that idea of that new cycle, that change of fortunes within you, because they're almost encouraging you to think differently before you act, in a way. So they're opening up your mind to, or your spirit to a new mastery of ways of doing things. Yeah, as I said, they're cleaning all these bowls, all these gifts that are coming in, these relationships that you have. So when you clean it up, then you can see clearly, and when you can see clearly, you know the best way to have the interaction with the other people that are around you. So you might have friends that you really enjoy doing one activity with, but you don't necessarily enjoy going to the cinema with, and that's the sort of thing. And that, you will feature in them in the same way. They may enjoy doing this activity with you, going for a bike ride with you, but not necessarily, going to the cinema with you. Now, and I think this is where you can get a lot of clarity within your life. And once you start planting these seeds, you're going to get a lot out of it. Let's just see what's going on your financial side or your material side of life. And this is your job, your businesses, your projects, that sort of thing. This is the karmic message here. What are you going to do? And this message came out for someone else. Who did that come out for? I think it was Pisces, actually, funnily enough. And it's sort of saying, you've got these assets, or even if you haven't got any assets or you haven't got anything going for you, it's almost like it's saying, what are you going to do? If you've got assets, it's what are you going to do with these assets in life? What are you going to do with this job? That is an asset. What are you going to do with these possibilities that are around you? I think you're on a very stable, solid foundation. And you've got to understand this, that you have a lot of attributes within you that you can use going forward. And once you learn those or understand those attributes that are within you, all of a sudden you're going to be the king of the castle or the belle of the ball. There's a progression that needs to happen from already situations which have evolved, basically, which you've gained from. Let's just see how the universe is trying to influence this. This is very similar to Pisces. This is very strange. They're offering there's something, or was it Virgo? Might want to go and check that out. But the universe here is offering you, or they're presenting, or they're pushing forward one thing. Rather than a multitude of things, it's really one thing. Oh, this is it. Look at this. You've got the world on one side. You've got you've got the world on one side. You've got the wheel on the other, and you've got the King of Pentacles and the Star at your base. There is a lot of things coming through you at the moment, and preparation is key. And I think this is where you need to lift your head up and open your crown chakra, allow your solar plexus to get a little bit more focused, so then therefore you can see your path before you, can see that vision of where you should be going and what you should be doing in the going future, and preparing, getting everything in order. Let's just see how the guides are trying to influence this karmic message. They're latching on to the universe for the rest of this month. They're sort of pushing for this one goal. There seems to be an opportunity that is, it's almost karmic, but it almost defines a moment in life. It's a real life-changing moment, I think. It appears to be that way. Yeah, I think it's stop looking at the past and look to the future. I think here is as well is that you have this one defining moment. What are you going to do with it? And you've got these bowls here on the left-hand side that are just there. They're being wasted in a way. What are you going to do with this progression? You've already got 2 4s in that line as well. So this is a moment of concretizing. That's not the right word. I can't get the right word out. But it's making things concrete, making things solid and and squared off within your life in order for the rest of it to come out. And that is going to almost suck what's coming through you at your base at the moment. Let's just see how the guys are trying to influence the conversation that is within you. Success can be measured in many different ways. Obviously, success for an athlete is not the same as a success for an, let's say, a business person or a builder or an actor. You know, success is completely different for everybody, and I think it's understanding what defines your success. So, what defines your success may mean that you need to walk away from certain aspects in your life. And I think this ties into the Four of Pentacles here, this Five of Swords. It ties into the idea that there may be things in your life at the moment that are not really giving you any sort of benefit, that are causing you more headache than actual solution, joy. And I would look at things differently. I would start to do things differently as well, within your circle of your job, your business, and your project. I would start preparing to actually take that next step up, because it's coming through you. And although life may be a little bit spread out and a little bit not focused, not defined at the moment, I don't think you're going to find that in there. That's what I was talking about with the crown chakra as well. These headaches or these conflicts that you've almost having with yourself doesn't really get you anywhere, doesn't take you forward. And you need some things you need to stop doing within yourself in order for you to really flower and allow this sort of like this change to come through you. Let's just see what's going on, the overall outcome. This is the end of January, beginning of February. Okay, so the preparation is like a liken to a plane at the beginning of the takeoff. So it's on the runway, ready to go. It's revving up the engines, it's preparing, everything's in place, and then it takes the handbrake off. And it's almost as if like you're taking the handbrake off, you're starting the journey, and you've got to see the gap in the clouds to head through. And you're going to get it. Look, you've got two kings going right through the middle here, and they're keeping things for you. And they're also sort of directing you towards your desires and your inner goals of you. You seem to be fighting against yourself or fighting against others. That is really causing you a bit of detriment within your material world. And I think that's probably the biggest strain for you at the moment. On your relationship side, I think it's a case of really looking at things differently. And it's looking at things differently, which is going to help you to define as well your material side of life. So there you go, Sagittarius. I've opened up 5 private sessions for people on YouTube, which you will find in the link in the description below. That's either for a tarot reading or for a healing session as well. That will be lasting for the next sort of 2 months, once a week. So if I were to get in there first, as it were, they are booking up quite quickly. In the meantime, Sagittarius, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.